Hey friends, the video you just watched is not movie special effects. This really happened at the Shanghai Science Museum. A fancy high-tech robot costing a lot of money smashed into tiny pieces right in front of everyone. It broke like cheap glass. Super weak. The Chinese Communist Party is putting all its hopes for the next 5-year plan on AI and robots. They call it New Quality Productive Forces. They want these things to replace real estate, which has stopped working, and keep the economy going so they can hit 4.5% to 5% GDP growth. But here's the problem. Even the robots can't stand up straight. Can this new engine really pull China's economy forward? Today, we start with this broken robot and look at the big bet the Communist Party is making. Is it really upgrading industries, or is it just a bigger dream that will never come true? If you care about China's economy, please subscribe to my channel and turn on the bell for all notifications so you don't miss the next shows. Just now, at the end of the big 2 sessions meetings, the Communist Party started the 15th 5-year plan and sent a clear message. They set China's GDP growth target for 2026 at 4.5% to 5%. It looks like a small drop from the old 5%. But behind that number is the collapse of how the Communist Party runs the economy. This is the first time since 1991 they set the growth target below 5%, and they used a wide range instead of one exact number. What does this tell us? It tells us Xi Jinping and his money advisors know the truth in their hearts. Real estate, which once made up almost 1/4 of the whole GDP, has completely died. For the past 30 years, local governments sold land for cash and borrowed huge money to build things. That old trick to push GDP up doesn't work anymore. Before, they gave one exact number because they could control it with real estate. Now they give a loose range because they admit they lost full control. They just want to make sure it doesn't fall below a safe line. When the real estate base starts shaking, they are too scared to set a high exact goal. This shows their deep fear that the economy could crash fast. Look back 20 years. China's economy was like a fast race car, and real estate was the super engine with endless power. It tied together local governments' land money, banks' profits, and even gave ordinary families more than 70% of their wealth. As long as house prices went up, people felt rich and kept spending. But now that engine not only stopped, it is smoking badly. Reports from the Epoch Times and the Cross say the real estate crisis caused builders to break their promises and left tons of unfinished houses. House prices in many cities fell hard, eating up family savings. When people see their own house is worth less, who dares to spend big on food or fun? Facing this huge black hole, the Communist Party came up with a fancy new word: New Quality Productive Forces. Plain and simple, they are taking the trillions they used to pour into real estate and now dumping it into AI, computer chips, smart robots, and low-flying drone stuff, all high-tech areas. The Communist Party is gambling that these cold machines and computer codes can hold up the economy speed like building houses used to. But there is one big crazy mistake in their thinking. Real estate was for everyone. Farmers carrying bricks, office workers selling insurance, all got a piece. High-tech industries use lots of machines and need very few workers. Even if China builds the best robots, can the millions of workers who lost jobs from the real estate crash suddenly turn into computer coders? This is the most dangerous part of the 15th 5-year plan. The Communist Party is trying to use an industry that does not create jobs to save a country where people's income has stopped growing. This imbalance, too much supply but weak buying power, even Prime Minister Li Qiang had to admit in the government report that the job is really hard. In fact, the idea of government points the direction and forces big things to happen is just bossy power thinking. In free market countries, industries grow from real competition, but the Communist Party tries to use central money and orders to force grow an economic pillar in labs. This breaks real economic rules and will only lead to what we will see next: a huge nationwide self-destroying inner fight that hurts everyone. Please remember these numbers: 4.5% to 5%. In the rest of this story, I will use real numbers to show why this humble-looking target is actually another fake dream the Communist Party made up to keep their power looking good. Now let's look at how this big bet is doing in real life. The Communist Party's New Quality Productive Forces is really the same old supply-side reform. Government gives money and rules, grows the making side like crazy, but never checks if regular people can afford to buy. This plan already failed in electric cars and solar power the last few years, and instead of takeoff, it became a total group suicide. Take the new energy cars the Communist Party is most proud of. Under Xi Jinping's direct orders, Chinese car companies made the most cars in the world, but the price? Endless losses and walls from other countries. According to First Finance on March 10th, NIO, a top Chinese electric car company, just released its 2025 report. The numbers are terrible. They lost 14.943 billion yuan that whole year. From 2018 to 2025, in 8 years, this one company lost about 110 billion yuan total. After losing so much, their sales costs jumped 64.3% in the last quarter of 2025. This is not business. This is burning ordinary people's hard-earned money for show. NIO is not alone. In January this year, many car companies' reports all exploded with bad news. GAC Group lost 8 to 9 billion yuan. BAIC Blue Valley lost 4.35 to 4.65 billion. JAC Motors lost 1.68 billion. Even 6 new car companies like Xpeng together lost more than 10 billion yuan in just the first 3 quarters of 2025. Why does more making mean bigger losses? Simple. Under Communist Party orders, hundreds of companies rushed in just to grab government help money, so they made way too many cars. The home market can't eat them all, so they cut prices like crazy and fought each other. Profits became thinner than paper. This cheap dumping killed companies at home and made other countries angry. They called it unfair competition. So many countries put high taxes and blocked Chinese electric cars from selling overseas. Solar power is even worse. Nikkei Chinese News on March 10th showed a shocking fact. China's solar industry is stuck in long bad times. In 2025, 7 big companies, including the world's largest, Jinko Solar, all expect losses, total up to 39.2 billion yuan. That is bigger than the losses in 2024. Even though the industry ministry said in July 2025 they would cut making, the real numbers show from January to October 2025, solar panel production still grew 13.5%. This, we know it's a dead end, but we can't stop habit, is the craziest thing about the Communist Party system. This is the warning from new quality productive forces. When Xi Jinping bets big on AI, robots, and chips, he is copying the same failed plan. If industry upgrade is not from real market needs, but from the central government forcing money in, it only creates more zombie factories like NIO and Jinko. Pretty on the outside, but empty and losing money inside. Can these loss-making, always needing help industries really hold up 4.5% to 5% GDP growth? The answer is already clear. Since electric cars and solar already walked the road to death, let's see if AI and robots, the core that Xi Jinping hopes so much for, can really overtake like he dreams. In the 15th five-year plan, AI is no longer just a tech word. It is the life-saving straw. Li Qiang talked a lot about AI plus action in the government report, trying to put AI in every factory and every street. But real life gave Beijing a hard slap. Just in March 2026, an open-source AI software called OpenClaw became super hot on Chinese internet. Because its picture is a red lobster, net users joked and called it Ray's Lobster. This hot wave quickly caught the eyes of Communist Party officials. On March 7th, the Shenzhen Longgang district government rushed out AI Lobster 10 rules, throwing in tens of millions of yuan and giving up to 2 million yuan in code help, plus 10 million yuan in stock investment. Cities like Hefei, Changshu, and Nanjing all jumped in fast, afraid to look slow on Emperor Xi's steps. What happened? This lobster fever lasted only 1 week and then totally flopped. On March 10th, Southern Metropolis Daily talked to an expert named Mr. Fang. He said this AI helper is too hard to use and full of safety problems. Users complained. After setting it up all night, the AI only said hello and checked numbers, but used up 1 million tokens and caused huge bills. Even a boss from Meta Labs posted that his trained lobster went crazy and deleted more than 200 important emails. The funny part, right after everyone rushed to get subsidies for AI, the hottest new business online is now door service to uninstall Lobster, costing 29.9 to 299 yuan. This is classic Communist Party style high-tech growth. Government decides fast and throws money, companies rush in to cheat the subsidies, users try it and find it's all traps. Can this AI, which never even understood the basic idea and was forced by orders, really turn into real productive power? The robot industry is no better. On March 8th, at a robot science show in the Shanghai Science Museum, something embarrassing happened. Right in front of everyone, a robot playing the role of Xuan Yong was hit by another robot arm and smashed to the floor. It broke into tiny pieces. People gasped and someone joked, "Is this made of China plates? It has zero toughness." This small thing is very symbolic. The Communist Party is pushing hard for embodied intelligence, human-shaped robots, trying to skip the slow tech growing stage and use big scale to create new things. It is like building a tall house on sand. The base, chips, codes, and high-end materials are all weak and mostly copied from America or bought from abroad. When America tightens the tech block more, these advanced robots are just like the one that smashed at the museum. Shiny outside, but super weak inside. The deeper problem is this. AI and robots are less people industries. When the real estate crash made tens of millions of builders, decorators, and house agents lose their jobs, the Communist Party is spending hundreds of billions to make robots that replace factory workers and AI that replaces office workers. This is not fixing the economy. This is speeding up the social crisis. A country with no jobs, no income, where people can't even keep food on the table. What is the point of making more smashed robots? Now we see it clearly. The Communist Party wants new quality productive forces to replace real estate, but in this turn, they made one deadly mistake. They never cared about ordinary people's benefits. The good stuff from tech progress only became government fake data to fool people. It never turned into real money in people's pockets so they can buy things. Look at this broken balance. On one side, the government, under the New Quality Productive Forces flag, throws hundreds of billions or even trillions in subsidies to build robot lines and AI power centers. On the other side, they are super cold to help for people's daily life. We don't need fancy economy words. Just look at the real numbers. From the March 2026 Money Report, the country's budget for tech research grew 10%. Looks very generous. But national health insurance help for regular people only went up by 24 yuan. What can 24 yuan buy today when prices are rising fast? It feels like an insult. What does this mean? It means the country put all its bets on robots and AI that may never make money but is super cheap on the most basic help for people's health, old age, and job loss. This is the real heart of the problem. The Communist Party blocked all resources into high-tech racetracks, but closed the exit for ordinary people to spend. When factory robots go faster and faster, people's income stays flat or even shrinks because of the real estate crash. This make stuff but no one can buy. Twisted shape is like a machine with a gas pedal but no brake. The faster it spins, the closer it gets to breaking. You can see it in the so-called New Quality Productive Forces show parks like Suzhou Industrial Park or Wuhan Optics Valley. The government throws tens of billions into robot lines, but if you walk inside, the regular workers' pay has been frozen. In February this year, the big job company 51 Job put out a report. More than 65% of factory workers have not had their base pay raised in 3 years. At the same time, because real estate blew up, middle-class people's savings shrank badly. When people have no money and are scared about the future, what do? They save every yuan and buy nothing. This creates a sad joke. Even if the Communist Party makes the world's best robots and piles of electric cars and solar panels, very few people at home want to buy them or can afford them. The money is stuck inside state companies and government research projects instead of going into ordinary people's pockets to drive real buying. And this money split break is exactly why the Communist Party cannot reach its GDP target. GDP is just a number that measures how much economic work a country does. If that work is only the government moving money from one hand to the other and making piles of stuff no one wants or that loses money, then it is not wealth. It is a huge waste of society's resources. Famous economist Justin Lin Yifu, who used to be World Bank vice president, often talks about structural adjustment. It sounds deep, but it is simple. Move the money that used to go into real estate and old building into high-tech and new industries to change the economy shape. But we must see the truth. In the Communist Party system, this adjustment is always the government grabbing resources. In normal free market economies, upgrade happens when companies fight in the market and the best ones win. Under the Communist Party, structural adjustment becomes the government using power to suck money from the banks and force trillions into the new quality productive forces projects they pick. What is the result? Exactly what we saw earlier. Money that should go to help people and raise their buying power is all stopped and turned into losing car lines or raise Lobster that fails in 1 week. The government feels good with its adjustment. The surface numbers look better, but all of it comes at the cost of emptying ordinary people's wallets. This is not fixing the shape. This is a power-led, big resource move that bets everyone's money. So you can see, if there is no deep fix on both the making side and the buying side, if they don't give the money back from stuck government orders to the market, to families and to regular people, then this 4.5% to 5% growth target will stay just a paper numbers game. Without doubt, this new quality productive forces party will end when the money runs out, when the subsidies dry up, when the taxes blocking Chinese goods get higher and higher, and when home buying power is totally gone. We will see that the 15th five-year new engine not only cannot pull China's economy, it may drag the whole big ship into deeper mud because it used up too many resources. That is our deep look at the 15th five-year plan and China's economic future. From the real estate collapse, to the inner fights in electric cars and solar power, to the AI bubble, what we see is not a rising big country. What we see is a running bureaucrat system that is already on its last road.